Welcome to our festive showcase, where art meets storytelling. Join us as we explore a delightful collection of holiday-themed artwork that transforms your framed TV into a celebration of joy and togetherness. Each piece holds a unique tale, inviting you to embrace the spirit of the season. Sit back, relax, and let the stories inspire your holiday cheer. Every winter, when the first snowfall kissed the ground and the air turned crisp and sweet, the small town of Frosty Pines came alive with holiday cheer. It was the time for the annual Great Gingerbread Train Race, a beloved tradition that brought the community together. Bakers from every corner of the town would gather, bringing their finest gingerbread creations to life in the form of whimsical trains. This year, the competition was especially fierce, with everyone buzzing about the talented teams. Among them was a group of friends known as the Gingerbread Racers, a spirited bunch led by a young, enthusiastic gingerbread boy named Gabe. Gabe had always dreamed of winning the race and was determined to make this year different. "We need to build the best train ever," he exclaimed, rallying his friends, including his loyal companion, Sprinkles, a cheerful gingerbread girl with a knack for decoration. As the sun peeked over the snowy landscape, Gabe and Sprinkles gathered their friends, Nibbles, the fastest gingerbread boy, and Coco, the master candy designer. Together, they brainstormed ideas for their gingerbread train. "What if we add peppermint wheels and chocolate smoke?" suggested Sprinkles, her eyes sparkling with excitement. The idea took off like wildfire, and the group set to work, their laughter ringing through the chilly air. They spent days in Gabe's cozy gingerbread house, mixing and molding the dough, decorating with colorful candies, and crafting their unique train. Each team member brought their strengths to the table, from Nibble's speed in running errands to Coco's eye for design. As they worked, they also learned valuable lessons about patience, collaboration, and the joy of creating something together. Finally, the big day arrived. The town square transformed into a winter wonderland, with gingerbread towns proudly displaying their creations. Spectators filled the streets, eagerly anticipating the race. Gabe's heart raced as he looked at their train, glimmering with icing and adorned with peppermint wheels that sparkled in the sunlight. They had done it. As the whistle blew, the gingerbread racers set their train on the snowy track. It zoomed ahead, powered by the sweet aroma of ginger and sugar. However, the excitement was short-lived. A rival team, known for their competitive spirit, launched a barrage of tricks, trying to slow them down. Candy canes were hurled, and frosting snowballs flew through the air. But Gabe and his friends remembered the lessons they had learned. "We can do this together," Gabe shouted, encouraging his team. They worked in harmony, navigating the challenges with skill and teamwork. Nibbles darted ahead to dodge the obstacles while Sprinkles and Coco quickly repaired the train whenever it faced a setback. The bond they had forged shone through as they cheered each other on, their spirits unwavering. As they approached the final stretch, the rival team's lead began to waver. The Gingerbread Racers' unique features began to shine brighter than ever. With a final burst of speed, they crossed the finish line, winning the hearts of the spectators with their creativity and teamwork. Though they didn't take home the golden rolling pin, the Gingerbread Racers had learned something far more valuable. The true spirit of the race lay not in winning but in the friendships they built and the memories they created together. As they stood on the sidelines, sharing stories and laughter, Gabe realized that the joy of working together was the sweetest victory of all. The Great Gingerbread Train Race became a cherished memory, a reminder that with teamwork, perseverance, and a sprinkle of creativity, they could achieve anything they dreamed of. And as the snow continued to fall, the friends knew that they would be back next year, ready for another adventure filled with gingerbread magic.
Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
In a cozy little bakery nestled at the edge of a bustling town, the aroma of freshly baked gingerbread filled the air. This year, the gingerbread man was more than just a sweet treat. He was on a mission. With Christmas just around the corner, he dreamed of reaching the North Pole to meet Santa Claus. He wanted to join in the festive cheer and help spread joy to children everywhere. As the clock struck midnight, the gingerbread man sprang to life, his icing glimmering like frost under the moonlight. "Tonight's the night," he exclaimed with excitement. He dashed through the bakery doors, ready for his grand adventure. The crisp winter air greeted him, and he felt a rush of exhilaration as he raced down the snowy path. His first stop was the nearby forest, where he heard laughter echoing through the trees. Curious, the gingerbread man followed the sound and soon stumbled upon a group of playful reindeer. They were prancing and leaping, their bells jingling merrily. "Hey there, little cookie," called out one reindeer, his nose glowing like a ruby. "What brings you to our neck of the woods?" "I'm on my way to the North Pole," the gingerbread man replied, puffing out his chest. "I want to help Santa and spread Christmas cheer." "Join us for a quick dance," the reindeer urged. Unable to resist the festive spirit, the gingerbread man twirled and spun with them, laughter bubbling up like icing. After a joyful romp, the reindeer nodded, impressed by the gingerbread man's enthusiasm. "You have the heart of a champion. We'll guide you to the North Pole." With newfound friends by his side, the gingerbread man continued his journey. The group dashed through the twinkling forest, each step echoing with the spirit of Christmas. As they approached a sparkling stream, they were met by a band of elves, busily wrapping gifts and singing carols. "Hello, gingerbread man," chimed one elf, his eyes sparkling with mischief. "What brings you to our workshop?" "I'm on a mission to reach the North Pole and help Santa," the gingerbread man proclaimed. The elves' faces lit up with delight. "We've been having a little trouble," said another elf, wringing his hands. "Santa's sleigh is missing a crucial toy. Without it, he won't be able to deliver all the presents on time." Determined to help, the gingerbread man said, "Let's find that toy together." The elves cheered, and they quickly divided into teams to search for the missing item. They ventured through the enchanted forest, where twinkling lights danced among the trees. Suddenly, they spotted a shadow lurking behind a bush. It was a cheeky raccoon, clutching the missing toy. "Hey, give that back," the gingerbread man called, his heart racing. The raccoon, startled, darted away. Without thinking, the gingerbread man gave chase, his tiny legs moving as fast as they could. The raccoon zigzagged through the trees, but the gingerbread man was determined. "I can do this," he encouraged himself, remembering the warmth of his friends behind him. Finally, with one last burst of energy, he caught up to the mischievous raccoon. "Please, I need that toy for Santa," he pleaded, his voice filled with sincerity. The raccoon paused, his eyes softening. "Okay, I didn't mean any harm. I just wanted to see what all the fuss was about." The gingerbread man smiled, realizing that sometimes a little kindness can go a long way. With the toy safely in hand, the group returned to the elves' workshop, where they were met with cheers and applause. "You did it," the elves exclaimed. They quickly wrapped the toy and loaded it onto Santa's sleigh. The gingerbread man felt a warm glow inside as he stood next to his new friends, watching Santa prepare for his journey. "Thank you for believing in me," he said, feeling proud of what they had accomplished together. Santa arrived, his laughter ringing like jingle bells. "What a fantastic team you all are. Thanks to you, Christmas will be brighter than ever." The gingerbread man beamed, realizing that the true spirit of Christmas was not just in reaching the North Pole, but in friendship, bravery, and the joy of giving. As the reindeer took off into the night sky, the gingerbread man waved goodbye, filled with warmth and gratitude. He had embarked on an adventure, made new friends, and discovered that the real magic of Christmas lies in the kindness we share with others. And so, with a heart full of joy, the gingerbread man returned to his bakery, knowing that every Christmas thereafter would remind him of the unforgettable journey to the North Pole. In the bustling heart of the North Pole, Mrs. Claus was in a flurry of activity, her cozy kitchen filled with the sweet scent of cinnamon and sugar. It was just a few days before Christmas, and she had a grand surprise in store for Santa, a festive feast featuring all his favorite treats. She had envisioned a table brimming with gingerbread cookies, warm peppermint hot chocolate, and a delightful array of candy canes and chocolate-covered strawberries. However, just as she was about to start baking, the jingle of bells rang out, and one of the elves rushed in with startling news. Mrs. Claus, Santa's on his way home early. He'll be here in just a few hours, the elf exclaimed, his eyes wide with excitement and a hint of panic. Mrs. Claus's heart raced. Oh no, we need to get everything ready before he arrives, she replied, her mind racing with ideas.
Quick!
Gather all the elves. Within moments, a flurry of little feet could be heard as the elves rushed to the kitchen, ready to lend a hand. What can we do, Mrs. Claus? Asked Elisa, the smallest elf, bouncing with enthusiasm. Everyone, we need to work together, Mrs. Claus instructed. We have to bake all of Santa's favorites without him finding out. Let's split up and make it a surprise he'll never forget. The elves nodded, their faces filled with determination. The kitchen quickly became a symphony of laughter and delightful chaos as they rolled out dough, mixed ingredients, and sprinkled flour everywhere. Elisa took charge of the gingerbread cookies, cutting out playful shapes of reindeer, stars, and Santa himself. Let's decorate them with icing and sprinkles. She giggled, her cheeks dusted with flour. Meanwhile, another elf, Jingle, was assigned to make the peppermint hot chocolate. He melted chocolate over the stove, carefully mixing in cream and crushed candy canes, while humming a cheerful Christmas tune. This is going to be the best surprise ever, he declared, envisioning Santa's delighted face. As they raced against time, they sang carols and shared stories of past Christmases. Each elf brought a special memory to life, recounting the joy of giving and the warmth of togetherness that filled their hearts every holiday season. Just when they thought they were ahead of schedule, the oven timer dinged loudly.
Quick!
We need to get the cookies out, shouted Mrs. Claus, her heart pounding in excitement. They hurriedly pulled out tray after tray of golden brown treats, filling the air with an irresistible aroma. With only an hour left, they assembled the dining table, draping it in shimmering red and green decorations. They arranged the cookies on platters, poured the hot chocolate into festive mugs, and added finishing touches of fresh pine and twinkling fairy lights. The kitchen was transformed into a winter wonderland, glowing with warmth and cheer. Finally, as they heard the distant sound of sleigh bells, Mrs. Claus gathered her little team. Remember, this is a surprise. We must keep quiet, she whispered, excitement twinkling in her eyes. As Santa opened the door, his eyes sparkled with surprise. "What's this?" he exclaimed, walking into the room filled with the sense of delicious treats and festive decorations. "It smells amazing in here." "Surprise!" the elves shouted in unison, and Mrs. Claus stepped forward with a proud smile. Santa beamed at the sight of his favorite feast. "You all did this for me?" he asked, his heart swelling with gratitude. "Yes. We wanted to celebrate Christmas with you," Mrs. Claus replied, beaming with joy. As they gathered around the table, Santa shared stories of his journey, and the elves listened eagerly, their hearts full of warmth. They savored the delicious treats together, laughter echoing through the room. And so, the Christmas surprise became a cherished memory, reminding everyone that the true spirit of Christmas lies not only in the gifts we give, but in the love and joy we share with one another. In the heart of a quaint little town, the air was filled with the sweet, spicy scent of gingerbread as Christmas approached. Each year, the town hosted its beloved tradition, the Great Gingerbread Bake-Off. Bakeries from near and far prepared to showcase their finest gingerbread creations, all vying for the coveted golden rolling pin. The stakes were high, and the competition was fierce, with each bakery determined to outshine the others. Among the contenders was a small bakery run by a kind-hearted woman named Amy. Her establishment may not have been the flashiest, but her gingerbread recipes were legendary, passed down through generations. Amy had a heart as warm as her oven, and she believed in the true spirit of Christmas, one that celebrated friendship, family, and community. As the bake-off approached, she decided to enlist the help of the town's children, knowing their creativity would add a special touch to her entry. One sunny afternoon, Amy invited a group of kids to her bakery. They were excited, their eyes sparkling with joy as they gathered around the large wooden table. "Welcome, my little bakers." Amy beamed, her apron dusted with flour. "This year, we're going to create something truly special for the bake-off, a gingerbread scene that tells the story of our town's spirit." The children cheered, eager to dive into the world of icing and candy. Amy set them to work, teaching them how to roll out the dough, cut it into shapes, and assemble their creations. They crafted a cozy gingerbread house with candy cane trim, surrounded by gumdrop trees and a sparkling icing pond. As they worked together, they shared laughter, stories, and the occasional frosting mishap. But not everyone in town was supportive of their effort. Across the street stood the renowned bakery, the Gingerbread Palace, owned by the stern and competitive Mr. Grumble. His towering gingerbread castle had won the golden rolling pin for 3 consecutive years, and he was determined to maintain his winning streak. He watched with disdain as Amy and the children played in her bakery, dismissing their efforts as a mere child's game. As the days passed, the children grew more excited about their project. They decided to add a community spirit element to their creation, representing the different traditions and backgrounds of the town. Each child contributed something personal: a small edible Christmas tree from the Italian family, a snowman made of marshmallows from the Johnsons, and even a tiny gingerbread Santa inspired by a local legend. On the day of the bake-off, the town square buzzed with excitement. Colorful booths lined the streets, showcasing breathtaking gingerbread creations. Families gathered, filling the air with laughter and chatter, the scent of cinnamon and sugar wafting through the crisp winter breeze. Amy and the children carefully transported their gingerbread scene to their designated spot, hearts pounding with anticipation. When the judges made their rounds, they marveled at the intricate details of the gingerbread houses and castles. The children watched nervously, but Amy reassured them. "No matter the outcome, we've created something beautiful together," she said with a smile. Finally, it was time for the judging announcement. The town mayor stepped up to the podium, his voice booming with excitement. "After much deliberation, we have a winner," he declared, pausing for dramatic effect. The crowd hushed in anticipation. "This year's golden rolling pin goes to Amy's Bakery." Cheers erupted from the crowd, and the children squealed with delight. They rushed to Amy, hugging her tightly as tears of joy glistened in her eyes. "We did it! We really did it!" they exclaimed, their hearts swelling with pride. As the celebration continued, Mr. Grumble approached Amy, his expression softened. "Congratulations, Amy. Your creation was it was quite impressive," he admitted begrudgingly. The children grinned at each other, recognizing that even rivals could find common ground. With the golden trophy held high, Amy gathered the children around her. "This victory belongs to all of us," she said, her voice warm. "It's a reminder that the true spirit of Christmas isn't about competition. It's about coming together, sharing our gifts, and celebrating each other." That night, the town gathered for a festive celebration, the glow of twinkling lights illuminating the joyful faces of neighbors, friends, and families. As carols filled the air and the aroma of gingerbread cookies wafted through the streets, the spirit of Christmas enveloped the town, a reminder that kindness, friendship, and community were the true ingredients of the season.